Hi, everybody. Okay, we're back. Hi. Hi again. It's 5:08. It's Tuesday. It's actually a nice, cool, but sunny day here. I'm on Long Island with Adrianna. Can you say hi? I know you don't like the way you look today, but you look cute. That's
Hi.
Adrianna, who's helping me. Hold on. Is this Laura here? Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
okay. Okay, I think we got it, everybody. Fingers crossed that Laura is going to be joining us momentarily. Oh
Yay!
my goodness!
I was
I'm
having a
so
heart
happy.
attack.
First of all, I love your glasses.
Well, thank you.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God.
I'm at that age now, you know.
Oh, believe me, honestly, I can't see a damn thing
Yeah,
without my
I'm blind as a
glasses.
bat. Blind as a
But
bat.
but I love yours. They're so big. They're
They
very
are.
chic.
They're a little Edith head. I
I know.
know.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody's so excited that you're here. I have the nicest followers. And Laura, I haven't talked to you in so
It's been a
long.
long time, a
I
very long time.
I
And
can't believe.
thank you for the baby blanket you sent for Bennett.
Oh, you're welcome.
I
You're
don't know if
welcome.
you ever got my thank you note, but in case you didn't, thank you. We
Oh,
love it.
you're welcome. I'm sure I did, but that was a while ago. I'm
That was
so
6 years
happy.
ago.
I'm so happy for you. So you have a lot. I mean, first of all, congratulations on all your continued success.
Well, thank you.
Someone just asked how the money laundering is going. We're going to get to
Yes.
Ozark and some
Yeah.
other things in a moment, which is such a great show. My husband, Jon Molnar, is over there on our exercise bike. But no, Molnar, you have to come and say hi to Laura when you get a chance. He absolutely loves that show, as do
Oh,
I.
good.
But
Oh,
he's
good.
ahead of me in terms of, oh, Jon. Okay, Laura, this
Hi,
is Jon
Jon.
Molnar. I got
Hi.
married. I got
I
married how
know.
many years ago?
7.
7 years
It was
ago.
I did a dance in my living
Six.
room for you. I did a dance of joy for you. For both
Thank
of
Wow.
you.
you. Laura
For
and I
both of
used
you.
to,
Laura, look at the
I know, don't
glasses.
you love those glasses? Laura and I used to kind of sit in my office when I was at the Today Show. A couple of times she was on the show for one of her many incredible performances, and we would bitch about our love lives.
Yeah,
You
we had a rough
remember?
time. We had a rough time there for a while. It was
We
not
did.
pretty for either of us.
I know, but look, it all worked out,
It
right?
does. It all works out. It
Well,
does. Yeah.
see, and Molnar
Yay.
is he's so great and so fun and funny and he
Good.
gave himself a terrible
I cut
haircut.
my hair myself.
I
It
know.
looks terrible.
There are thousands of people with bad haircuts now roaming around their homes thinking,
I
what
It's
was I
sort of
thinking?
liberating. It's liberating, I think.
I,
Really?
Yeah, it's
I
like,
was
okay.
tempted the other day. I had a
Really?
moment. I had a
You know,
moment.
I actually thought about doing the whole Britney Spears thing to my
Oh
hair
yeah.
and just like
Buzz it.
buzzing it off and
Just
letting it
buzz
go
it.
gray. Your hair
Yeah.
is looking darker than usual.
It is dark. I did a play right before
You
we
did
all
I love Elizabeth Drought so much.
she's wonderful. She's up. I
And
did a
she
play
wrote,
by her. Yeah.
I know, I read about it in the New York Times. I was so excited to see it. And then it ended right before Broadway
Right
shut
before.
down.
That's right. So this is and I didn't have time to have my hair restored to
Well,
its
I like
natural
you as a
blonde
brunette. I
glory.
like you as a brunette because it
Thank
kind of
you.
matches the tortoise shell in your glasses,
No,
Laura.
yes, yes. I
But
did
tell
it,
me,
and that's why.
we have so much to catch up with.
So I'm relieved.
Oh, wait,
Can
do
I
you
do
want
my
to ask
chance?
Laura any
I
question
am because
about
I'm a big
Ozark?
fan. I'm a big fan. And Katie's been having all these great conversations. And basically, I don't really have any interest in any of them. But I'm like, well, you're talking to Laura Linney. I would like to say
Uh,
hello.
You like
Thanks.
all my
Well, no, I like
conversations.
them all. But I thought this was a big one. The show's amazing.
Thank
I
you.
couldn't
Thank
stop
you.
watching it, and I loved your relationship with Jason, and how it was really, it had a lot of Breaking Bad in it, but it's so original too. And did you have that whole, was that show sort of conceived for 3 seasons? That's sort of what I was wondering, or did it just sort of keep
No,
going?
because we have no idea if we'll be renewed at the end of every
Right.
season. So there's always a hope that you will be. But I think our showrunner, whose name is Chris Mundy, is just
Did a great job.
I can't say enough good things about that man. I think in his mind he has a clear arc.
Yeah.
So whatever it will
Season
be,
three, I
whatever it'll
mean,
be.
every season was great.
Well, good.
Everybody's got
Thank
to
you.
watch all seasons.
Thank
You're
you.
Anyway,
wonderful.
big
Okay.
big
Big
fan and
fan.
Jon Molnar. Okay,
Yay.
Right.
Thanks,
thank you very
John.
much,
Nice meeting
Molnar.
you.
So Laura, so you've got Ozark going, which is such a
Mhm.
that must be a dream role. How much fun have you had doing that show, and also working with Jason, who seems like the nicest, cutest, funniest, coolest guy?
Yeah, he's all those things. He's
What
all
was
those things and
what has it
more.
been like for you to do that show?
Well, it's been this big, unexpected privilege and pleasure, really. I mean, it's a lot of times you can step onto a television show and it doesn't go terribly well. And then it either fails miserably and you feel bad and ashamed that it didn't do well, or it's successful and then you're stuck with people you don't like. And that's the gamble when you go into something like this. And in this situation, it's the best of everything you could hope for. It's a spectacular group of people. I love my producers. I love working for Netflix and MRC. I love these actors. I love going to work every day. Our crew is exceptional. So I just really, and I realized very early on, I was like, oh, I fell into a pot of honey here. I really did.
So
So
Laura, you don't know right now if in fact you're going to be renewed and you're going to have a fourth season?
I'm certainly hopeful of that. And
Yeah.
there's every indication, given how well the show has been going, that will happen or hopefully happen, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't
I mean,
officially know.
it's hugely popular, so I can't imagine it wouldn't. And so you've got that
But,
going.
I never thought there'd be a pandemic either.
Yeah,
So you
that's
never
true.
know.
Well, and that reminds me, I mean, even if it is renewed, I guess shooting schedules are so up in the air right now. Have you gotten any guidance? And what are people who are on popular shows like Ozark, what are they doing?
Well, I think everyone is just asking themselves questions at this point. No one has any answers. Nobody knows anything yet. I've heard through the grapevine, but it's only rumor that certain shows are going back to work, but who knows? It's all rumor. It's not from anyone official. But then there are lots of questions about how do you keep a crew safe? How do you keep actors healthy? How do you, if you're on location, can you ever go home and visit your family? How do crew members pass equipment back and forth to each other? How do hair and makeup people get into your face? And
Right,
if
right.
someone gets sick, then what happens? There's so many questions that everyone is, I think, asking themselves. And then there are the business questions about how do you insure a company? Can you insure a show anymore? So people are just asking themselves questions like, how do we all deal with this?
And are you in touch with the people on the show? I would imagine sort of producers or kind of.
A little bit, but not really. I mean, everyone is just sort of in shock, I think, still about the situation that we all find ourselves in, and all of us trying to figure out how do we go back to work that's safe and responsible, and how do we make that happen so that we don't make matters worse.
Yeah, I know that a lot has happened. I want to talk to you about the play and some other things you've been up to, but I'm so happy for you because I know a lot of really great things have happened to you in the last 6 years. And
Mm-hmm.
when did you get married, Laura? I remember when you got married. I think I
Yeah.
talked to you, the last time I talked to you was, I think, right before you were getting married.
Yes. It was. We got married 11 years ago, and it's been
And
11
you
years
married
that has
someone
flown by.
who's not in the business.
He's not in the business. He's a civilian. I married a regular person, and God bless him. He's been really game about this crazy life I lead, and he's been a spectacular father, and so I'm very, very lucky.
And so you had a baby
I did.
6 years ago, a
I
baby
did.
Bennett, which I
Yeah.
love that name, by the way.
Thank
And I
you.
know, tell me how Bennett has changed your life.
Oh, well, in every possible way. And the thing that was nice, it was not something I took for granted and really didn't think the opportunity for parenthood was going to be there for me, really. And but people kept saying, well, your life is going to change, like it was some bad thing. And I was very ready for my life to change, very, very ready. So it's been nothing but a joy. He's surprising and fun and funny and challenging and delicious and all of those things. So it's been more than anything I could have hoped for.
I'm
So
so
I'm
I'm
very,
just
very
so
lucky.
I'm so thrilled for you, honestly, Laura. I'm
Thank
just
you.
because you're so deserving of happiness because you're
Oh, that's
truly
kind.
not only are you so gifted, you're one of the nicest people around, and I think you've been
Aw,
so
Katie.
unaffected. No, honestly, I don't mean to be corny and weird, but you've been so wonderfully unaffected by your success. I don't feel like you've
Oh,
ever gone Hollywood, and you've just always been. Well, I think part of it is because you're so intelligent, but I know that you had very strict
oh,
requirements
oh,
for your.
hold on one second.
Oh, okay.
Child in room. Hi, hi.
Oh, can I see him or not?
Can you watch something? What do you want to watch? Sorry, hold on.
Can he say
Huh?
hi to me, or is that not cool?
Here's a hand.
Oh,
Hey, B, go ask Daddy. Okay? Thank you.
oh, somebody said my hoop earring's about to fall out. Thank you very
Oh, really?
much. Thank God for comments. Oh, Laura means a civilian and that she didn't marry someone from Hollywood. But
That's
anyway,
right.
what I was going to
I
say is,
didn't marry an actor. Yeah.
yeah. So with Ozark, I know you really kind of balanced your role as a mom with your role in Ozark by making sure that you got home a certain amount of time, and you wrote it into your contract, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Tell
There
me
was an
about.
unspoken, well, there was an unspoken agreement. I said before I accepted the job that I would have to have an additional day off a
and
week
and
so
they
that
were
I could fly
accommodating.
from, they've been great. And it's an ensemble show. So the structure of it just sort of allows for that. Um, so I am home when he's in school and our show shoots in Atlanta and I live in Brooklyn. Um, I'm gone 2 or 3 days a week, and then I fly home, and I'm there, and it's worked out well. It's not ideal. I wish I was home all the time, but it's necessary.
And does Bennett ever come to the set with you? Is he able to
He
travel
does
or not so
occasionally,
much?
yes.
Yeah.
And last season we filmed during the summer, so he was there all summer long.
Oh, summer
So
in
that was fun.
Atlanta. I can't think of
Yeah.
anything worse. I used to live in Atlanta and summer was so miserable. I remember getting into my unair conditioned Toyota
Oh yeah.
Corolla after putting mascara on it, basically melting
Oh
down
yeah.
my
Oh yeah.
face.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
so
weirdly like it.
you do?
I do. I love the humidity. My family is from Southern Georgia, so I have really Proustian feelings about the heat down there. And I love it. I really
Where
like it.
where where in southern Georgia are they from?
Baxley and Douglas and St. Simon's and family all throughout the South. And I
Oh,
have family
that's
in Atlanta now as well, which makes it additionally nice because when I go down there to film, there are cousins there. And so it's great.
because you grew up in New York City, I know. You had a
I
single
did.
mom who raised
Yep.
you and
Yep.
worked full time. I just asked you about Southern Georgia because my dad um, was from Dublin, Georgia,
Oh, I
and
didn't know that.
and he wrote for the Atlanta Constitution, and he
You
went to
got
Mercer.
people down there.
Yeah,
You got
oh
people
yeah,
down there.
he went to Mercer in
Uh-huh.
Macon, and
Yeah.
so and worked for the Macon Telegraph. And my mom's family are all from. She grew up in Omaha, but they're from Alabama, from Alex City,
Right.
Alabama. So I have a lot of Southern roots. So I
Yeah.
had no idea that you had so many Southern roots.
Oh, I'm the first Yankee in the history of my family. I'm the
Really?
first person born above the Mason-Dixon line on both sides of my family that go back generations and generations and generations.
Oh,
So
that's so
Georgia
interesting.
is I love Georgia, and it is also what makes Ozark that much more fun for me is I get to film down there. So
Oh, that's
I
fun.
love being there. Yeah.
And get to see a lot of your relatives, I guess, at the same time, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
so
true.
nice.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
imagine you must be really busy. Well, tell me just quickly, Laura, about the play that you did with that was based on Elizabeth Strout's novel. I loved Olive Kittredge. There's actually a follow-up to
Yes.
Olive Kittredge. I think it's
Yes.
called After Olive or
Olive. It's
Olive
called Olive
Again.
Again.
Have you
Olive
read
Again.
it?
Yes. Yes, I have read it. Her stuff is just wonderful. And Elizabeth Strout wrote these amazing books. And one book that she's written is called My Name is Lucy Barton, which is a interior monologue that a woman has as she's staying in a hospital for a mysterious illness. And she wakes up and she finds her estranged mother sitting at the end of her bed. And the novel sort of unfolds from there, and you learn a lot about her and a lot about the mother and a lot about where Lucy Barton came from. And so this book was turned into a one-woman show, and I was lucky enough to be the person who they handed it to.
That's awesome.
So I did it in London twice, and then it came to New York, and I finished my run right before Broadway shut down.
Would you ever take it on the road and have it go to other cities, or?
Possibly, sure.
Yeah.
Especially now, I think it's important for a lot of us to travel and take the arts out of Manhattan.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be more and more important as we try and get through all of this.
Yeah, someone said that Elizabeth lives down the road from them in Maine. So,
Yeah,
many of obviously her novels are based in Maine.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm a huge fan of hers. Well, how are you doing with this whole crazy period? How are you handling it? What are you doing to stay busy? And how's Bennett doing with homeschooling?
I know,
Are you getting along? Do you still love your husband? What's going on?
Yeah. I have good days and bad days. I have
Yeah.
some days where I'm fine and other days where I'm not, and I don't understand why I'm not fine. And then I have to stop and give myself a big break. But homeschooling is really challenging. What I've learned is I am not a good kindergarten teacher. I'm not bad,
Yeah.
but it's not the vocation I should have chosen, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that's not what I do, because I'm not very good at it. And he's being such a good sport, and our school has been so spectacularly good about providing us a program to follow online, and the teachers are on with them all the time, and there's a lot to do, and the whole community around his school has been quite wonderful. But having said that, I'm his mother, and he doesn't want to listen to me all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. It's one step forward, three steps back. Keeping him focused, keeping him interested, keeping him, engaged is a challenge. And there's some days where I'm really good at it, and then there's some days where I'm really, really bad.
Well, I think you need to be, I think everyone needs to be gentle with themselves and know that, this is new territory. But I also love the fact that it really makes us, I've always felt this way, but that we all appreciate and understand how important it is, the important job teachers have.
Oh, good Lord.
Right. And I feel like teachers are so undervalued and underpaid and under-respected in our culture. And do you think maybe this will change?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. I've always loved school, and I've loved schooling, and I've loved being a student. So I've always loved teachers and what they've done, but it certainly is hard to ignore now for people who are not so aware of what a good education is and what teachers provide to students all the way from preschool through graduate study, what they do, through their hard work and their talent and their, vocation for teaching. So I think it's a very, very good thing that it's really in people's faces, like how important this segment of the population is.
I couldn't agree with you more. Meanwhile, what is New York like? I'm out on Long Island, and I know I've been in the city. Jon has been in the city a lot. I went last weekend. Do things seem to be calming down?
I'm actually in Connecticut.
Oh, you're in Connecticut, so you're not in the city.
Yeah, I'm not in the city. But I went down for a day, and it was eerie. It was extremely eerie. And I find it's really interesting that people, unless you're around the tri-state area, their view of this pandemic is very, very different. I talk to people in California, and there's a lightness in their voice. And although I know they're going through it as well, the New York City people have been weathering it in a way that is, I feel when I speak to other people, is different. And it's, it's intense. But you go there, and it's like a weird film. It's like a weird movie. There was no one on the streets when I was there. I expected a tumbleweed to come down.
I know, isn't it strange? You can actually walk in the middle of the street or the middle of Park Avenue in New York City and be pretty safe about it. And spring has sort of happened, and usually you could enjoy the cherry blossoms around the reservoir and all the tulips everywhere. But it's been
quiet. quiet on the
except for the sound
streets.
of ambulances, sadly.
That's right,
So,
which sort of like pierce the whole thing, and it's uh it's a different experience.
yeah. So, are you working on anything right now? Are you reading? Are you watching anything? Because we're always looking for good recommendations.
I have a bit of a cookbook issue. I have a cookbook problem.
You do? Have you been
So
cooking a
yeah,
lot?
I have been more than normal. I'm not a great cook, but I try. And but I have a cookbook problem. So and all these, and the New York Times just issued some great list of like cookbooks that are worth your time during the pandemic. Click, 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 click. And they arrived in a box, and I, unwrap them, and I read them like novels. I sit in bed and sort of go through them and earmark them and all that
And
sort of stuff.
what
So,
are some of your favorites? Somebody just asked.
oh, there's procrastinating is a good one. And hold on a sec. What's the other one that I got? I got one. Always Home, Fanny Singer's new book. Alice
Uh-huh.
Waters' daughter, who wrote a memoir and cookbook, which is terrific. And then Keeping It Simple is a good one. And From Oven to Table is great. And Emotional Eating. Where's that one?
Oh,
There's one
that
called
sounds like it
Emotional
was
Eating
named
from Dime
after
Store, which
me.
is great as well.
I think everyone's
Yeah, I
emotionally
know. It's
eating
good.
right now, right? So are you
Oh, and
making
then there's Brave Tart. Brave Tart is a great cookbook for baking and everything. Terrific. So,
Oh, great. So are you actually making things?
yeah, I made some hand pies. I made cherry hand pies, and then I made peach ones last night. Um, so the second batch was better than the first,
So you're having fun
but I'm
cooking.
getting there. Yeah, I'm trying.
And are you
Yeah, yeah.
watching anything? Are you streaming anything?
I've been watching the ESPN docuseries about Michael Jordan, The
Yeah.
Last Dance. I've been watching that. But to be honest with you, if I can stay awake, by the end of the day, homeschooling my child, I'm tired. And
Yeah.
I put him to bed, and I'm not long for the world after that. I'm pretty pooped.
And are you finding time to exercise and to get outside?
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, a little bit. One would think. I listen to these people who have all this time, and I just think, oh God, how nice. I kind of, is it nice? I mean, and I think, where is that time? And it just it isn't available to me at the moment, and that's fine. And that's good
Oh,
too, because it keeps me on the schedule.
my daughter just came into the chat. So my daughter Ellie, who lives in Los
Oh,
Angeles, and Laura, she was going to get married in July, and we had to
oh,
postpone, or she had to postpone her wedding for a year. So she'll be getting married, hopefully, fingers crossed, the summer of
yes.
2021. So,
It'll be
but
that much sweeter when it happens.
yeah, and she's such a huge fan of yours as well.
Is this the
So
same daughter who dressed up as Holly Golightly for Halloween?
no, that was Carrie.
That was
Carrie
the other
was
one.
obsessed with Audrey Hepburn for a while, and we just watched a home video of her birthday party because she also went through a Marilyn Monroe stage, and literally she was about 5 years old, and a friend of mine
Appropriate.
from
Great.
Saturday Night Live made her a cute little silk, what was it, 7 Year Itch? Is that what it's called, 7 Year Itch, with the
Yeah, yeah.
pleats and the white halter top? And
Yes.
she had this blonde wig and a beauty mark, and it was
Oh,
so
Lord.
funny. She was absolutely obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. She was 8. She was 8. Sorry, not 5. Oh,
I remember that Halloween. She came to the Shifty's Halloween party.
who? Laura? Oh, you came to a Halloween party, Carrie said, to the
I
Shifty's
did.
Halloween party.
I did.
That's so funny. Anyway, Carrie
Yeah.
says hi too. She's making
Hello.
something for Cinco de Mayo. By
Oh,
the way,
nice.
also everyone also loved you and John Adams, The C Word, Love
Yeah.
Actually. I mean, if you had to pick one of your favorite roles, Laura, I know this probably like picking your favorite recipe, which for you is impossible. But what was sort of the most fulfilling role you ever had?
Well, they're different ones for different reasons. I think Marianne Singleton, of course, for Tales of the City is really close to my heart. Abigail Adams is. Clara Kinsey for Kinsey with
Oh
with
yeah.
Liam. Um, you know, the Savages, I love. It's hard for me to choose.
What
I
about
love them. You know,
the Crucible?
I
You
love
were
them
so
all.
awesome in the Crucible.
Oh yeah. Oh, not even thinking about the theater stuff. I mean, the theater stuff is, um, you know, I've been very, very lucky that, 9 out of 10 experiences have been really wonderful. And I love the people who I get to work with, and I always learn something. And sometimes it's hard and difficult, but it's always worth it in the end. And um, I love Love Actually, and I love even the sort of learning a lot about voiceover stuff with some of the smaller documentary jobs I've done, and
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
We were all saying
It's just all fun.
before we could get you on, we were having trouble connecting. We were all talking about
Oh God.
Masterpiece
Oh yeah.
Theater.
Yeah.
Because every time I watch Downton Abbey, I'm like, oh, there's Laura.
There I am. Hello. Saying hello and welcome. I know. I
Exactly. Anyway, well, I'm so happy. Someone asked about something with Ozark. I'm not going to actually ask a question about Ozark for people who haven't seen it, but are there someone asked for your favorite moment from Ozark, or if there's a funny story? Oh, the big C, not the C word. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
called it the
that's
C
okay.
word. It was the big
Oh,
C.
that's all right.
So sorry.
It's not
That's
the
a whole
first time that's
different
happened.
show, everybody.
Not to worry about it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you, person, for telling me that. I love that show too, although it was so near and dear to my heart. But just, God, your performance in that was so incredible. But someone asked for any
Oh, thank you.
funny stories from the set of Ozark. Any funny thing that happened?
It's all of it. It's really just sort of the joy that happens there amongst the people. I love our crew. I love the people who I get to work with, and they're funny. My dresser is a woman named Emily Kramer, and she's one of the funniest people I've ever met. She's a breath of fresh air every single day. And there are people like that in every single department of that show. So it is, it's just a joy. It's just a joy to go to work.
Because that's an intense show, so I'm glad that you guys are able to blow off steam.
Oh yeah.
When you're
Oh yeah, we have fun. And it's when you're with people year after year after year, you get more comfortable with each other, and it's all easier. And when the writing is good, it's easy to do. It's hard and difficult when it's just not a good experience. That's when it's hard.
By the way, a lot of people are reminding you of You Can Count on Me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which they love too.
One of the best. Yeah.
That was with Mark Ruffalo, right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, he's my brother for life. And the Savages and all of them. I've been very, very lucky, particularly with the people who I've gotten to work with, particularly with Mark Ruffalo and Phil Hoffman and Liam and Richard Gere, and people who I truly love, who I didn't just enjoy working with, but feel they've added so much to my life, and our friendships mean a great deal to me.
Well, I'm sure they would say the same about you. Well, I'm so happy to catch up with you, Laura. I don't know why.
Same here.
Carrie, why did you say Caitlin Flanagan? Are you friends with Caitlin Flanagan?
I don't know. Am I? I might be.
I don't know. I don't know. She just texted me. She texted me in the middle of this. I thought, Carrie, is there a reason you did that? Did you text me Caitlin Flanagan for a reason? A different thing altogether.
There's always a fear I'll hurt someone's feelings if I don't know who they are.
People are also saying Primal Fear. I mean, there's so many great roles. I mean, my God. Anyway, well, Laura, I'm going to let you go so you can keep reading your cookbooks, hopefully make something from them. And but if anybody wants to watch this, we're going to post it in my newsletter, Wake Up Call, tomorrow morning. If you haven't subscribed, Laura, to my newsletter, you have to.
I already get it.
Oh, good.
I already get it.
I started my own company. Someone just said, "Who is Katie Couric? What the hell are you doing here?" If you don't know, people. But I started my own company a couple years ago, and we're having so much fun and working really hard on a lot of different projects. So thank you. Our motto for our newsletter is "Open it, even if you don't read it."
Yeah.
So open it, Laura. Anyway, give Bennett my love
and
your cute husband, and thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Great to see you.
Bye.
Okay, bye, Laura. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.